Okay, I did not go in and get water or something to drink. So, I'm going to try to make this quick because it's the last little thing I wanted to talk about. Last thing I wanted to mention. It's really just sort of an exercise in thinking. It's just a little something I want you to contemplate. If you're a straight Christian, again, male, female, I don't guess matters really, but again, being male, I sort of phrase it in those, frame it in those terms, I guess. But this is just really something to contemplate. It's not a scenario that would or could ever happen. But just so that you hopefully develop some little bit of compassion or try for just even for the briefest of moments to see things from a different side of the equation. I want you, if you are a young heterosexual male that considers considers himself, again, doesn't have to be male, but just if you consider yourself as heterosexual and Christian and all that, just as something to think about, just so you can sort of maybe try to see the other side of things, and maybe hopefully develop a little compassion. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to dwell on this for very long, but just consider one thing. Just a crazy scenario, never happened. But just pretend for just a minute. Just pretend that Jesus himself came to you and he proved to you in no uncertain terms that he was truly who he said he was. And Jesus came to you as a straight individual and said, I want you to be gay. I want you to only have, as a young man, relationships with other men. Because see, that's what's expected of individuals that are gay. They're expected to only have those relationships with that they have to change, that they have to be straight, that they have to, if they're going to engage in sexual behavior, it has to be with the opposite gender. So as someone who's straight, imagine from their side of things, look at it from their viewpoint, that they're basically being told that they cannot be who they feel that they are. They can't engage in the behaviors and have the relationships that they want to have because those are considered as sinful. So imagine the shoe was on the other foot. Imagine that Jesus told you directly that you could never have any kind of sexual relationship with a member of the opposite sex. How easy would that be for you? I mean, think you could just throw a switch, that beautiful blonde with the gorgeous body and whatever. Suddenly, you can't act on any of those feelings. I mean, it's not wrong to have those thoughts and feelings, but you can't act on them. You can only act on the other, those feelings you probably have never had, or maybe have only entertained when you were sipping, something to drink, whatever. But I mean, think about it. He says, "Hey, John, sorry, you can go out with your buddy David or whoever, and if you're going to do anything, that's the only that's the only it has to be David or some other dude, because you have to be, if you're going to be sexual, you have to be gay." I mean, again, that's not going to happen. We know that it's just something an exercise in thinking What if Jesus told you had to be gay? What, as a straight person, Jesus said, no, if you're going to have sex, it's going to have to be, male, male, or female, female. Doesn't that give you just a little bit of, because that's what's being asked of gay people, is that they're basically being told that if they're going to have a sexual relationship, that, if they want to be Christian, if they want a relationship with God, that that relationship can either be heterosexual or they can have no sexual relationship whatsoever. And that is what's being asked. That's the case. That's the situation. Doesn't that give you a little bit of compassion for this group? Can't you think, wow, what would it be like if Jesus told me I had to be gay? I mean, ugh, David stinks. Ain't no way I'm going to kiss him, or whatever. But just, again, as an exercise in trying to develop compassion, trying to think outside of the, what you know. What if he said, sorry, man, it's you, Buddy David, or, some other dude or nothing. Sorry, that's the only choices you've got. I mean, otherwise you're in a sinful, relationship. I don't know many people who could just flip a switch and say, okay, well, I guess I'll do the other. I mean, if that were really something that Jesus or God would ask of you, which of course, again, is not the case. This is just something to think about, to try to see what you're demanding or what you're saying is required of, those individuals that don't feel the way you do. Have a little compassion. I mean, it wouldn't be an easy thing. You know what I mean? To either have no sex whatsoever or only have sex with the gender that you're not attracted to. You know what I mean? And of course that has to be in a married relationship and, so on and so forth. But anyway, just give it a little thought. I mean, how easy would it be for you? Show some compassion. Show some love. Try to understand things from somebody else's viewpoint. It might make you a better person. I'm not saying you should do these things. I'm just saying consider what it would be like to ask somebody else to. Try to develop a little bit of empathy or sympathy, empathy. I'm really going to have to see what word means what. Empathy, sympathy. There's a difference. I think the word I'm looking for here is empathy. Yeah, sympathy sort of implies that something bad's happened and you're showing sympathy, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm rambling and I have talked all morning long and I really need to do something else for a little bit. So, again, thank you all so much for listening. If you have questions, if something I said didn't make sense, go to your preacher, your pastor, your priest, your whatever. Get on and Google it. I could be 1,000% wrong. I really could. But listen to it and you decide. And if I'm wrong, say, well, according to the, follow it up with some proof. You say, hey, you're wrong on this because the Bible says this, and I take that to mean that, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Don't just say you sound like an idiot, which I know I do, so you don't have to tell me that. Anyway, so thanks for hanging around this long, and I hope everyone has a good day, and get out and get some fresh air. It's a nice day, hopefully, where you are. Anyway.